Hello, friends. Hello. Welcome to the moon video. I called my blog the moon blog, so I guess I'll just call this the moon video. I am here to share with you the energies for the upcoming new moon in Cancer, which is coming on July 5th, 2024. I'm a little bit early with this one because we're going camping and we're going to be traveling, so I just wanted to get this to you in advance. So let's talk about this new moon in Cancer. If you've been feeling a lot of focus on relationships, on like just the relationships within your own life, your role within your relationships and how you feel within your relationships, congratulations. You are really definitely feeling the energies of this new moon in Cancer. Now, the theme that I identified, the theme that I intuited. I don't know if it's a word, but we're making it into a word for this new moon in Cancer is nurture unconditional self-love. Cancer energy is all about nurturing, and there's a lot of nurturing energy with this particular new moon. There's also a little bit of kind of like crunchy, a little bit of like look at our wounding kind of energy with this new moon as well. And that's because of Chiron and the way Chiron's coming in, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Let's talk first about just the new moon in Cancer, its theme, how we can work with it, and then I'll get into a little bit of like the deeper themes, what I got intuitively, and some of the astrology as well. Okay. So on July 5th, we have a new moon in Cancer. Cancer is the cardinal water sign. Cancer is emotive. Cancer is nurturing. Cancer is caring, loyal, sensitive, highly intuitive and empathic. In the shadow side, Cancer is well known for kind of putting on this hard exterior shell represented by the crab. Cancers are well known for kind of hiding their soft, sensitive inside, that vulnerable, sensitive inside with this kind of hard exterior shell. And I feel like I just need to be like straight up with you guys that I am a quintessential Cancer. I am Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising. My Venus is also in Cancer. Wait, let me look at my chart. I think I got more in Cancer too. I am like highly, got a lot of Cancer energy going on. So I can speak well to both the light and shadow sides of Cancer. Now, another big shadow side of Cancer is that Cancer kind of goes into this patterning of really diminishing their own needs and amplifying everyone else's needs. And that's part of the nurturing energy that Cancer brings in. But it can be difficult for Cancer at times, and I can speak to this in my own life, to actually like really identify their own needs and prioritize their own needs. And that is actually a big theme of this new moon in Cancer is, hey, it's time to actually center yourself within your own relationships. It's actually time to prioritize your needs and your desires within your own life. Because the truth is like no one else is going to do that for you. You're responsible for your life. You're responsible for making yourself the main character in your life. It's a big theme of this Cancer new moon. So, what this Cancer new moon really wants to do is it wants to help encourage us to love ourselves more unconditionally, to love our vulnerabilities, to love our sensitivities, to love our needs, to love our desires, even those desires that feel really far away. They're still worth loving here and now. All of us is worth loving. That's a big theme that the moon is sharing with us all the time, to be quite honest, but we feel it very strongly with this new moon in Cancer. And one of the ways the new moon in Cancer is trying to help us to cultivate this unconditional self-love is actually through centering ourselves in our own relationships. So let me talk a little bit about Venus and Chiron because they're having a big influence on this new moon in Cancer. And when I connected intuitively to the energies of this moon, relationships were like a huge theme. So when we have this new moon in Cancer, I can't remember if it's like exactly on the same day or right around, we have another transit where Venus that's in Cancer right now is actually creating a square with Chiron, the wounded healer, which is in Aries. Anytime we have an activation, a transit surrounding Chiron, we're going to be dealing with some of our core wounds, like the wounds that just keep coming back up, the wounds that even though we've addressed them and even done some healing around them, they kind of come up in different ways in our life. Chiron represents the wounded healer, and it is these like core wounds that we bring into this lifetime as part of our soul's expansion. So anytime we have a transit with Chiron, we might, have these moments of what I call shadow work, or looking at parts of ourselves that maybe we try to keep in the shadow, we try not to look at because it's not the most comfortable part of ourselves, those wounded parts. But ultimately, Chiron is always teaching us the way to heal this wounding is to look at it, address it, and actually share it. Like the expression of it, the sharing it with others is a big part of that healing. So with Venus, with Venus in Cancer, Venus is all about relationships, values, finances. And in Cancer, she's actually pretty okay. In Cancer, I feel like that's more of a beneficial arrangement for Venus to be in. More watery energy, very emotive, which Venus is as well. But we might be noticing, especially with this square with Chiron, that we're feeling a little activated when it comes to relationships, values, maybe even finances for some of us as well. The activation is coming from the square with Chiron. Now, Venus in Cancer is more emotive, more loyal, more nurturing. Chiron in Aries is inflamed, is impassioned, is kind of lit up. So just don't be surprised if with this new moon in Cancer, you're noticing some activations around relationships, around some of your values. This is all what is meant to be happening so you can have a bit more clarity around what it is you want to manifest, intend, create with this new moon in Cancer energy. So even though it might feel a little activating, a little uncomfortable, it's actually a big part of the full encompassing of ourselves, the full self-love of all of our vulnerabilities. We have to look at our vulnerabilities, admit that we have them in order to embrace and accept them. So that's really important. Now, when I was feeling in intuitively with the energy of this Cancer new moon, there was a couple things that happened. First, well, there's always, whenever I feel it intuitively, there's a lot of things that happen at once, which is what's so fun about intuition. But then being able to like pull at the strands and be like, okay, what does this actually mean? So somatically, when I connected in with the energies of this new moon in Cancer, I felt a huge activation in my heart and my solar plexus. And those two were actually kind of like, it was almost like they were cycling energy between them, like a conversation between the two of them. Now, the heart represents unconditional love for all things, acceptance, neutrality, sacred neutrality. The solar plexus is the center of self-love, determination, self-will, motivation. And when I'm feeling that energy cycling between the heart and the solar plexus, it really is about unconditional love for self, unconditional love for self, unconditional love for self. So that was the first thing, is that there was a big focus on really feeling into the energies of unconditional self-love. Now, the next thing that I received was actually auditory through clairaudience, and I heard the terms, you are the anchor. You are the anchor. And then I got this claircognizant moment of just knowing what that was related to. And it was related to relationships. And it has to do with recognizing that in our own life, we are actually the anchor in all of our relationships. We are the common denominator in all the relationships that happen in our life. We are that anchor. Yet if we do not see ourselves as that anchor, then we are not actually prioritizing ourselves, our needs. And we can really we can really fall into patterns of fawning in the nervous system, which is known as people pleasing, putting other people's needs before our own. Now, Cancer energy, Cancer is very concerned with safety. It's actually one of the kind of core themes running through Cancer energy is, am I safe? Is this safe? And it's actually one of the reasons Cancer is so highly intuitive, is this almost coming from this like hyper vigilance of like, is this safe? Is this safe? Is this safe? I have to read all the energy to make sure that everything is safe. That's a little bit of Cancer energy. What's interesting though is when it comes to relationships, and I can really speak to this personally. I actually had a somatic session earlier this week, and this whole thing came out in my somatic session, which I thought was like so appropriate for this new moon in Cancer energy as well. But one of the things that came out was like one of the things I do in relationships, like one of the questions that's kind of running in the back of my energy when it comes to relationships is how do I feel I'm making this person feel? So when I'm in relationships, my priority is more like, how am I making that person feel? Am I making them feel safe? Am I making them feel seen, heard, respected, loved? How am I making them feel? That is really like kind of what my energy is running behind the scenes in relationships. And when I was doing this somatic session, what came out, what my body was asking for was like, wait, how do those people make me feel? And that's a big part of this new moon in Cancer. And I just want to shout out to my dear friend Shannon Keating, because she shared a post on her socials recently that was all about relationships. And she shared that question that it's really important for us to ask ourselves, how does this person make me feel in this relationship? And so this Cancer new moon definitely wants to kind of have you take a moment, stop within your own relationship, center yourself, become your own anchor, and then ask yourself, how does this person actually make me feel in relationship? This is a big part of learning to center ourselves. And this is also a big part of learning how to cultivate that self-love, that unconditional self-love, recognizing that my needs, my desires, my sense of safety, comfort, love within this relationship is just as important as how I'm making the other person feel. So that was also really, really important. Now, I want to share my screen really quickly with you all, just so I can show you. Just so I can show you kind of how to look at the moon blog if you want to find some information. So just give me one moment and I will get that up for you. Okay, friends, let me share my screen so that you can okay, let me try that again. Give me one moment. Got to make sure it's up here on the back end. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go back and share my screen. There we go. Okay. So you can find the moon blog right here at ourinfinitenature.co. You head up to the moon, click on that, and you'll see Cancer new moon. I've done a new thing in the moon blog now, where at the very bottom of the moon blog, I share with you just some of the themes and how to work with that moon's energy. I also wanted to share with you all, we have a new resident astrologer for the moon blog. So you can meet Sarah from Expansive Consulting over at the bottom of the blog where it says astrology of the Cancer new moon. And I'm so excited to have Sarah here, which is wonderful. But this is what I wanted to share with you all right here, which is kind of the energy summary for the Cancer new moon. And when we're working with new moons, we're talking about intention, setting intentions, manifestation. So the theme of this Cancer new moon is nurture unconditional love. The intention you can set with this Cancer new moon is centering yourself within your relationships and knowing that that actually helps you cultivate more unconditional self-love. And what are some things you might want to manifest with this Cancer new moon? You can manifest stronger unconditional love for yourself, stronger boundaries within relationships, because a lot of this centering self within relationships is really about boundaries. And then clarity around your true needs and your true desires. That's a really big part of this Cancer new moon as well. And you can find all of this on my website, ourinfinitenature.co. So that's the energy for this Cancer new moon. I hope that you all have lots of opportunities with this Cancer new moon to be with yourself, to actually sit with your needs, your desires, embrace them, recognize that these are really life-affirming energies for you, and that they're lovable and they are worthy, and that you are unconditionally lovable, you're unconditionally loved, and you're worthy just as you are. Happy, happy new moon in Cancer, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye. I'm so bad at these videos sometimes, friends. I totally forgot to share. If you love these videos, if you like these videos, please make sure you subscribe right there, comment, like, and share. And if there's any specific things you're looking for more information about, share in the comments and maybe I'll make some videos for you. All right, friends, thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.